So we had someone racing this weekend in New Hampshire. Some stuff happened. Only 2 races this weekend. To be honest, for New Hampshire this weekend, I thought there was an Xfinity race, but I was wrong. There wasn't a truck race either, but Xfinity will be back next week with Road America. And that fucked up pit cycle rule, where they have things called the quickie yellow, and then the stage break being a full yellow, and then under the cautions, you can only pit for tires or gas. You can't do both. Didn't NASCAR try this rule a long time ago when it ended badly and looked fucking stupid? Well, NASCAR's assignment was try it again. Why? Do we have this rule for this weekend? This rule sounds so fucking stupid. I can't even comprehend it looking at it straight. Just when we think NASCAR's starting to get it back together, they then baffle us with their fucking stupidity. Like, this is so fucking retarded. This won't end poorly at all. Nope. Not at all. And they're also going to do that for the truck race. This fucked up pit cycle rule for the truck race at Gateway in a couple weeks. This rule is so fucking stupid. It's like, why does NASCAR keep inventing dumbass stupid rules? Like, I thought NASCAR learned from the fucking stupid ass caution clock and the dumbass overtime line. But they keep sending themselves back. Are we sure Brian France was ever fired to begin with? Because it still feels like he's calling the shots from a secret island thousands of miles away. But anyway, let us move on, because trucks will also be back at Michigan next week. So yay. At least at Michigan we won't have this dumbass pit cycle rule, so yay to that. So let's start off with Formula 1. Wu was in England this week, but one driver that was not in England was Sergio Perez, who tested positive for COVID. And his replacement this weekend will be Nico Hülkenberg. Yes, the fucking Hulk is back, baby. Maybe Nico can use this time to get himself a top ride next year. Maybe he can get that ride at Haas. Or maybe Red Bull, since Alex Albon is underachieving like a dumb sack of shit. That is, if Hülkenberg could complete the race, since he couldn't even start the race since the car had engine issues and couldn't fire. Damn it. It's sad to have Hülkenberg's return be like that. Don't worry, Nico. Someday you'll get your podium. Someday. But anyway, to the race itself, we had a crash on lap 1, a big incident between Alex Albon and Kevin Magnussen. I'll be honest, for that incident, it looked like it was Magnussen's fault, because he pinched Albon all the way onto the curbs on the corner, coming to complete lap 1. And really, Albon had nowhere to go and couldn't really go any lower. And Albon ended up turning Magnussen into the wall, knocking Magnussen's right front tire off, ending Magnussen's day. And after this crash, Gunther Steiner was then going into a room and saying to himself,
why do we have those mass drivers?
But after that, though, not much really happened in the race. The only thing also of note during the race was Romain Grosjean's questionable blocking tactics, when he made more than one move on the DRS lanes to try and block Ricciardo and company from trying to pass. He then got a warning for the first thing. Then Grosjean would do it again. He would be investigated after the race and be given a penalty. After the penalty, Gunther Steiner then went into his office and said to himself,
why do we have those mass drivers?
You know, Steiner, there was an easy way to avoid this situation. You know what that solution was? Firing Grosjean during the off-season. Don't worry, Steiner. Maybe you'll grow a brain and make your team less of a fucking shit show. And you'll get rid of Grosjean for, let's say, Nico Hülkenberg. Yes, Steiner, keep saying Vettel's coming to Haas. Vettel ain't going to that shit show. I think Vettel would chop his balls off before he would ever go to fucking Haas. Because Haas is one of the biggest shit shows in F1. At least Williams is trying to get their shit together. But yeah, overall in this race, nothing really happened until really the last 5-something laps of the race, when a lot of drivers had tire issues. Like Valtteri Bottas had a second place finish in the bag, and then he blew his tire, and ended up finishing 11th. And then in the closing laps, Carlos Sainz had tire issues while running 6th. And then Lewis Hamilton on the last lap, while leading the race, he would blow his tire. But Verstappen was too far behind to catch up, since Verstappen, when he knew damn well Mercedes had tire issues, what does Red Bull do? Why, let's pit him and throw the race away. Let's pit him and go for the fastest lap. Let's go for 1 bonus point, instead of going for 25 points in the win. When we know damn well Lewis Hamilton's going to be the driver to beat this year, and the only way you're going to have a chance to have a shot at winning the championship over him is beating him any chance you can. So yeah, with that pit stop and Red Bull stupidity, Verstappen was too far behind. Hamilton would limp home and win the British Grand Prix with a blown left front tire. Not often the race winner wins with a flat tire. Damn. Because, Verstappen, if you didn't pit and you actually, because you were saving your tires better than Hamilton, if you didn't pit and then Hamilton has that tire failure, Verstappen would have won this race if he didn't pit. Like, that was a dumbass call by Red Bull. I say stay out, take your chances, go for the win. Run it right. Man, no wonder Vettel left for Red Bull after 2014. No wonder Vettel left in the first place. And also, with Bottas' tire failure, that opened the door for Charles Leclerc to get a podium. With how shit Ferrari's been this year, it's something, I'll take it. So yeah, and of course F1 will be back next weekend with another race in the British Grand Prix. Maybe this time Nico Hülkenberg will get the turn a lap in with Racing Point, since Sergio Perez will still be out because of F1's quarantine rules. Because for F1, you have to at least at minimum stay 10 days in quarantine or self-isolate. So yeah, maybe Hülkenberg will get a chance this time to turn a lap in. And of course this week we were going to have an IndyCar race next week at Mid-Ohio. And then it got postponed due to COVID rules, guidelines. So instead, that race will be replaced with another race at the Indy Roval near the end of the year. So the next IndyCar race is going to be in like 3 weeks. And that will be the Indianapolis 500. Yeah, this short IndyCar season's going by fast. We're now at the Indy 500, damn. Which will have 25% capacity now. Okay. But yeah, so after a couple of weeks of having some IndyCar off, we now gotta wait a couple more weeks, but at least it's the Indy 500 this time. So I guess we now start the Indy Indy time tradition. With all the qualifying and all the practicing and all that. So yeah. Anyway, we have a cup race to talk about. New Hampshire. So the first big moment of the race happened on lap 10. When Kyle Busch would blow his right front tire and hit the wall. And get knocked out of the race. And end up finishing in last place. And right there, that's what you call the greatest Sunday ever. God damn it, we didn't even have to do any voodoo this week on Kyle Busch to keep his winless season alive. Like, Kyle wrecks out and the race only started. Damn, so then after that, we could just sit back and enjoy the rest of the race with Kyle Busch out. In fact, let's take a live look at the Busch sexuals after the Lab 10 incident. Yeah, if 2020 was a NASCAR season, we would just show Kyle Busch's wreck. That wreck pretty much sums up 2020 in a nutshell. So, yeah. Anyway, overall, throughout this race, there was a lot of different strategy in this race. Drivers pitting, and then staying out for track position. You know, a lot of different strategy, you know. Near the end of the race, though, it was becoming a fuel mileage race near the end, to where wondering if anyone can make it to the end on gas, since we had, like, a green flag run for, like, the last 70-something laps. Like, usually New Hampshire's famous for having late race cautions, but we had a long fuel run to end the race. Damn. But in the end, throughout the race, it was a battle mainly between Keslowski and Hamlin. They were the clearer class of the field, but Keslowski flat out dominated. He got the lead from Hamlin on some strategy, and then was able to just pass Hamlin straight up. And Keslowski would dominate and win New Hampshire. So this was really Keslowski's first dominant win all season, because his other 2 wins were off of pure luck. Because the Coke 600, he mainly got that race because Alan Gustafson was a fucking idiot that decided to pit Chase Elliott with 2 laps to go. And then there was Bristol, where he got the win mainly because Chase Elliott and Logano both raced each other hard into the wall. And Keselowski just happened to be in the right place at the right time. But hey, Keselowski got a dominant win here. And Keselowski saved enough fuel to do a pretty good burnout too. So yeah, Keselowski now with 3 wins this year. Now the question is, what is Keselowski's status for 2021? Will he re-sign with Penske Racing, or will Keselowski test his value in free agency? We'll have to see. And of course, next week is a Michigan doubleheader, but with no fans in attendance, so sadly, I will not be there. Damn it. Don't worry, we'll try again in 2021. But yeah, damn. Damn you, COVID, for ruining my fucking plans. Asshole. But yeah. And of course, the biggest talk entering this week was in NASCAR free agency. Mainly around Bubba Wallace, because there's now been reports that Bubba Wallace has been offered a big contract with Richard Petty to sign an extension. But this is no normal extension. This extension involves partial ownership with Richard Petty Motorsports. So if Bubba chooses to sign an extension, he could become a minority owner, where he gets a small stake in the team ownership. To keep in mind, we've only had 2 drivers in this millennium that have signed ownership deals with their teams. Because there was 2002 when Jeff Gordon signed the lifetime contract with Hendrick Motorsports. That contract also included partial ownership, mainly of the 48 car. And then in 2009, when Tony Stewart left Joe Gibbs Racing to form his own team, Stewart Haas Racing, Tony got 50% ownership of his team, with the other 50% going to Gene Haas in a partnership. But of course, Bubba Wallace, though, he says that he has a lot of offers. Specifically, he's got a lot of interest, for the 48 car at Hendrick Motorsports and the 42 car at Chip Ganassi Racing. So yeah, he has some offers. I'm not sure. I think Bubba's really going to test his value in free agency and see what he can get. I think Bubba's in no rush to really make a decision. But yeah, that would be interesting if Bubba got ownership for Richard Petty Motorsports. That would be interesting. But yeah, that's a bit of a silly season update for NASCAR on the Bubba Wallace front. So yeah, it's going to be a really interesting NASCAR free agency. But yeah, anyway, with Michigan next week, we're now 6 races away from the chase. And oh, by the way, I forgot to mention for F1, that's now Lewis Hamilton's 87th career win. That puts Hamilton 4 away from tying Michael Schumacher. So anyway, with now that out of the way, let's end this video off and take a look at the chase standings. Mainly, Kyle Busch, Kurt Busch, and Almirola, they're pretty good on points, so we're not going to focus on them. We're going to look at the last 3 spots and then the 3 spots below. And we're going to see how everyone stacks up entering the doubleheader at Michigan. So here are the point standings heading into Michigan. So we have Clint Boyer, who's 43 points to the good, so Boyer gained a little ground. Pretty much he left New Hampshire the same way he came in. Matt DiBenedetto gained some ground, now 40 points above the cutoff line, so he gained a few points. Byron also gained some points above the cutoff line, now 15, holds that 16th and final spot by 15 points. Because Byron was able to get some stage points over Reddick. Reddick now 15 points back. Jimmy Johnson, he had a spin earlier in the race while running 6, and that knocked Jimmy Johnson out of position to get some stage points. And since a lot of the other competition got points, that now puts Jimmy Johnson in a 25-point hole. At this point, I think the only way Jimmy Johnson can make the chase this year is if he wins a race. And time is running out if Jimmy wants to have a shot at an A championship. And then you got Eric Jones, 31 points out. Eric Jones lost a lot of ground today in the points. And then everybody else from Bubba Wallace on down, yes, Bubba's still 20th. They're all pretty much in must-win territory since they're almost 2 full races worth of points out. So yeah, 6 races left to go. Mainly, specifically, we got 3 drivers on the cutoff line. As it looks like we're going to be down to 3 spots for the chase, since the other 3 are pretty much locked up. But if someone that's not listed here, if we have a surprise winner in the coming weeks, then this cutoff line really gets interesting. Or if Boyer or DiBenedetto have a bad finish and everyone else can take advantage, then it will get really interesting. But yeah, that's the chase battle bubble heading into Michigan. And before I sign off, shout out to Space Mel Ferrari 248 who was at this race today. Hope he had fun watching this race. But yeah, anyway, that's all I gotta say. Hope everyone's a great day, and yeah, peace out.